I made a video just like this last year, and I thought it was a lot of fun to just kind of brainstorm and kind of share what I was thinking of going with and get input and recommendations from you in the comments. And it was just a fun video, so I figured let's do it again. I have not decided on everything that I am choosing next year for my curriculum, and I feel like I've gotten a good idea of like the direction, but I just haven't nailed pretty much anything down yet. So next year I will have a third grader, a fifth grader, and a seventh grader, and I'm just going to share. I'm not going to go grade by grade. I'm going to go subject by subject just to make it a little bit easier and more cohesive that way. So we'll start off with language arts. So for my third grader, language arts next year, if you've been around here for a while, then you know that she has been doing the good and the beautiful for the past couple years, and she really enjoys it and is going to continue with that. She's my more like artsy fartsy type and does not really love all things school related. She'd rather be doing art and things like that. So if she's got to do school, she really likes the good and the beautiful. So we're going to stick with that. That's going to be the same for spelling. It's included with that. It does have a readers that I'm not sure I'm going to get. I showed her both, and she did BJU Press reading, the reading program from them this year, and she really enjoyed it. And so I showed her both, and she wants to stick with the BJU Press readers, so I might do those and then just still get the other ones from the Good and the Beautiful just to have kind of on the side too. I'm not really sure which way I'm going to go, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. And I'm looking here at my notes to make sure I'm not missing anything. So then for my fifth grader and seventh grader, they've done BJU Press writing and grammar this year and really enjoyed it. So I think I'm going to continue with that for next year. At least for my fifth grader, probably getting her spelling through them most likely, and probably I consider this with language arts too, wordly wise. She really likes the vocabulary from wordly wise, so I think we'll continue with that one. As far as reading and literature for her, and I'm going to lump my fifth grader and my seventh grader together, I'm not exactly sure. So this year what I've done, well, the second part of the year, not so much the first part, but the second part of the year, I have been assigning them their own chapter books to correspond. It's like historical fiction to correspond with what we've been learning in our history. And so I don't know if I want to take more of a informal approach to literature and reading for them for next year. They are big readers, so I'm not like worried if they're getting enough reading in, or if I want to do a more formal approach to it. I still am undecided about that. And if I did, I'd probably go BJU Press because I do like it, but I'm not sure which way I want to go yet. Then for my seventh grader for language arts, this is where I feel like it gets a little bit tricky when you're in that seventh grade. I know sixth grade is technically middle school, but I feel like sixth grade is still a lot of the curriculum, like it still gets lumped in with elementary things. And so seventh grade, I feel like is really the true dividing line, because like a lot of her spelling curriculum I've seen out there stop at sixth grade. So it's kind of been harder to find that. So I don't know if I want to do a formal spelling with her. She really likes that. She loves to do that. And she's like, give me a spelling test every Friday. So we do that. And I've seen a couple, but there's not a whole lot of spelling programs, curriculum out there for like middle school and beyond. So I'm not really sure which direction I'm going to go for that. Wordly Wise does go all the way up through, I think, senior year. And I'm pretty sure I'll do that with her, or maybe some sort of combination of the two, vocabulary and spelling together. I'm not quite sure yet on that one. And then writing. BJU Press, I do love their grammar and their writing is good, but I definitely want to like outsource her writing. And I've shared this in a couple videos, so I'm not going to keep rehashing, but I just want to make sure for middle school and onward that she's getting a good writing foundation. And so I want to make sure that that is something that we are, while I could do it, I just want to make sure that that's something that she's getting from the outside. So EIW, IEW, I've seen those too. Someone has mentioned in a video, one of my previous videos, writing and rhetoric. I've looked that one up. I've looked up a couple, everyone that you guys mentioned in the comments, I look everything up and make notes of it for either maybe not this year, but in the future. So I'm still debating. I don't know. That one I think we might just have to try and see how it goes, because it's that in math I think is so dependent on each child, and it's like obviously not one size fits all, but yeah, that one's really tricky. It's a really tricky. I'm still debating on that one. So in that language arts vein, I know that they definitely will be doing, and my youngest one is excited because she'll be, I guess she is old enough now, but she will definitely be old enough next year to do more formal grammar and writing and things like that. So she'll definitely be doing Night Zookeeper. And I have talked about them before too, multiple times here on my channel. My girls all really like doing Night Zookeeper. Lola has like watched, she's my second grader, gonna be third grade. She's watched from the side as my older two have done it the past couple years. And she's like, I'm ready, but she's not quite there yet, but I think she will be by next year for sure. So there will be creative writing prompts, there is grammar, spelling, anything language arts related Night Zookeeper has, and it's in the form of a game. And so I like it because it's just a way to like break up kind of the monotony of like, all right, here's another grammar page, here's another writing, here's another spelling list. And although my girls don't really mind that, well, some more than others, I really think that they look forward to Night Zookeeper because it is like, it's a different approach, and again, it's a game, so they don't even really realize they're learning. I'm also trying to be very aware of their screen time and make sure that we use it for not just like any random thing. I'm trying to be wise about it, and so this is something that I for sure feel safe and comfortable with because it is fun and it's educational all at once, and it breaks it up and they're still learning. Since no curriculum can obviously cover every single aspect, this is just a way to kind of make sure things overflow and can help cover anything that might not get picked up in other programs. They have their own little like avatar, they write stories, they get feedback from Night Zookeeper, they can even share stories. They have permission to share stories so that they can get feedback from other kids through Night Zookeeper. They do like screen the comments, so not anybody can just like write a hateful comment to your child. They have to be nice and positive. And so I think that that's cool. My daughter liked getting feedback from other kids on stories that she wrote. We use it all throughout the year, even in the summertime and things like that. And it's good on like rainy days, snowy days, any days that are just like you kind of want to, the kids can't really go outside and do a lot of things, but you're like, the curriculum is like, we just can't do another day. That is where Night Zookeeper can come in as well, because it's just something a little different, and I guarantee you probably won't get any pushback from your kids. So as always, I'll have a link in my description for 50% off. You can also have a free trial, a 1-week free trial, just to see if your kids like it. If so, again, 50% off an entire year subscription. Lastly, kind of within the same language arts scope is going to be handwriting. They love the good and the beautiful handwriting. I don't think we've ever used anything but them. No. My daughter did use one random handwriting this past year, which is, it's fine. I don't even remember what it's called because she tears out the pages. Overall, they love the good and the beautiful handwriting. But my oldest has finished with their handwriting. Again, she'll be in 7th grade. She doesn't really need to keep practicing that. So I'm trying to work on her computer skills, computer literacy. She's done typing, but she's pretty much finished with that. So this is a serious question. I'm not even joking. It might sound like I'm being silly, but like, I'm almost, do they teach like Excel and Word and PowerPoint anymore? Like, I don't ever hear anybody ever talking about that. Never, no, ever, not one homeschool curriculum video have I ever seen where someone is talking about like, how are they teaching? Because I know in high school, and you know, I'm sure you did too, like that was one year we did Word, one year we did Excel. You know, how are they learning these things? I guess we have to teach them. She does Canva. She's pretty good about that, but that can only take you so far. I think you need to know like the ins and outs. And she dabbles in Word, like when she has to type things, but like I don't think she really knows much besides the bare minimum. So I feel like almost like a joke asking this, but like, what are your recommendations other than me trying to remember what I learned from PowerPoint 20 years ago in high school? Next is a big one. It's one that I think besides writing, no, I think this is even bigger than writing, math. That I think is the hardest subject to find a perfect fit. And even among your own children, you're not always going to find that one size fits all. So for my third grader, we're doing the old level of the Good and Beautiful math. We're doing level 2, but we're just taking our time with it. She kind of is in that, like, January really is like when she should start her new school year, but that doesn't really work. So I kind of make it that way, especially for math. So she's kind of almost just now starting second grade math. So that might take her into the following, like the first semester of next year. But that still leaves me with, like, what do I do for third grade? So I'm debating between, and I've made math videos about this before, Math with Confidence level 3, or going and just like looking up on good old Facebook Marketplace or eBay and seeing if I can scrounge around to find an old level of the Good and the Beautiful Math 3. I don't really see them anymore because it's been a couple years since they've printed them. So I don't know if I'll have much luck with that. But the reason I want to go with the Good and the Beautiful Math is because I know it, I've done it, I know that it works, I'm familiar with it, and so she's familiar with it too, so it would be kind of like easy. I don't know, I know a lot of people really love Math with Confidence, and it teaches the way I really feel is best to learn math, and so those are the two I'm contemplating. She really wants to do teaching textbooks with my older two. They're going to be doing that. She's like, I forgot she even wanted to do it, but we were looking through curriculum and she's like, and I want to do Larissa and Lexi's math. I want to do their math. And I was like, oh, teaching tech. Yes, that one. I want to do that one. So I don't think she's going to do that one yet, just because it's online, it's computer. I'm just not ready to let go. I'm not ready for her to be like independent in math yet. I still want at least one more year of teaching her math. She doesn't know it yet, but she's not going to do that one. She'd love to, but she's not. My older two they'll be doing teaching textbooks. My sixth grader just finished level 6, so she's actually in level 7 right now, so she'll finish that. I'll let her work on it as much as she wants to, if she wants to work on it throughout the summer and go from there. And then my fourth grader, she'll go into level 5. She'll do that. So we'll do teaching textbooks for them. I don't know what we'll do for when they get older, but for now it's really working and they're really enjoying it. And I have not had any problems with math, none. There's the occasional like, hey mom, can you help me out with this problem? Which that's gonna happen no matter what curriculum you use. But it's been a full year pretty much. For my oldest daughter, it's been a full year and there's no tears, no crying, no confusion. It just has been working and it's so lovely. So we're going to continue that. So that's math. So those are the main bulk, I would say. The other couple subjects, I'm just gonna not rush through, but just kind of move a little bit quicker through. Logic/critical thinking. I started that with my oldest this year, but I want to actually incorporate that with my whole group. And so I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. The first logic book we have is, what's it called? The Fallacy Detective. So good. It's very, very good. I would definitely recommend it for 6th grade and up. It's not for littler kids, although my second grader does listen and she tries to like input. It's good for her to get the ideas, but if that's your oldest is in like 2nd, 3rd grade, just save your time, wait till they're a little bit older. And then there's a book 2 of that. So I'm going to do that, but I don't know if I'm going to incorporate, like if I'm going to have everybody do it or just wait till my middle one, who will be in 5th grade, just do that with her in a couple years, like when she's doing it up by herself. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. So far this year, I've just done it with my 6th grader one-on-one a couple days a week, and it's been so good. We've learned so much. I recommend logic, critical thinking, like just these things that are probably not being taught in public or private school, that are not your traditional subjects, but are so, so important. So that will be in every aspect of our curriculum till she graduates. She's going to have some sort of writing, rhetoric, logic, those type of, apologetics, all of those in that vein. until graduation. And then speaking of like apologetics and that type of thing for our Bible, I'm not sure what direction I want to go for this one either. I haven't narrowed down to a couple. So we have done apologias. It's a 4-part biblical worldview series. So the first one was Who is God? What we're doing right now is the second one, which is Who am I? So it's a biblical worldview of self. And then there's 2 more, a biblical view of my neighbor and then the world. I don't know if I don't know if I want to continue it, or it's kind of like we got what we got out of it and let's move on to something else, or it's like just let's finish out the series. I'm not sure. That would be another 2 years, and it's like I don't know if I want to keep doing this for 2 years. I'm going to get their input on this one. If I don't do that, I am looking at BJU Press, their biblical worldview. I've looked at their it's like an apologetics. It's for level 6, but I think it would be fine for my daughters who will be in 7th grade, 5th grade, and 3rd grade. I take, as most homeschool moms do, grades and things like that for 6th grade, 4th grade, or whatever. We kind of take that with a grain of salt. It's more about like what is the material covered and what are our children capable of comprehending, and will they be able to get and glean things from this. And I absolutely think they will. So I've been looking at that one, and then there's one from Master Books too. It's called Foundations in Faith or something. Yes, Foundations in Faith. And that one looked really good too. That one I think is more geared toward middle and high school, but again, I don't know. I think it might be. If you've used that one, please let me know what you think. I will say my children are not like, they can handle more, I wouldn't say more than the average child, but more than just like Sunday school type lessons of, and Jonah and the whale. Like they're way beyond that. They can handle pretty deep things, and they can handle deep discussion and deep conversation. And I actually want to be starting that. Even my youngest one can handle that. So Foundations in Faith, if you use that one, let me know, because I think it was supposed to be for high school. Or I might just keep it for a couple years. And then I might do the Case for Christ, but I might do that this summer. I'm not sure. But I do want to incorporate those types of books throughout the year, just so that they can have, again, that foundation of like why they believe what they believe, not just my mom told me this, so I think it's right. I don't know. And then when they grow up and are out in the actual world, they have really no solid foundation for what the heck, why do they believe that? Just because my mom said it's true. And so I really wanted to make sure that they have a firm grasp and can develop their own faith while they're still under our house. Anyway, that's a whole separate video for us for another day. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking for history, and I'm really trying to wrap this up, but I like to know why. I try to explain why I'm choosing and thinking about what I'm choosing. So sorry if this is a little bit chatty, but you're probably used to that from me by now. But I like when other people explain like what they're thinking and their rationale is. So hopefully I find that helpful. So hopefully you do too. Anyway, for history for next year, we are doing, so for this year, we're doing the Beautiful Feet books, Early American History for the primary grades for like 1st to 3rd grade. But honestly, I think it does well with my older kids too. And I think it's a great history. But I want to do Modern American History for next year. And the only one that they offer is like for the 5th to 8th grade level. So it's more like upper middle school level. And I spoke with someone who said it's definitely on the upper end of things, who has used it. And so I'm like, oof, I don't know, because I think it might just be a touch above the heads of my younger two. So while things like biblical, that type of things, they can handle upper levels, I think when it comes to history, I'm trying to keep it more of a lower level, but still in depth, and still so that they can understand. And so with that, I'm trying to consider like what would be the best modern American history that's between a 3rd grader and a 7th grader, and that they can all get things out of. I do want something that's literature based, and it's really hard to always get exactly what you're looking for. So I have Sunlight / Book Shark in mind. Their level, they have early American history for 1 year and modern American history for the second year. So I've looked at that, and I think a lot of the books will be right in the middle of where we're at. I can always add like younger books for my younger daughter if she wants to read them, more of like the picture books, and then more complex books for my older daughter if she wants to read them. But I think Sunlight / Bookshark, they're the same company if you don't know, if you're not familiar. Sunlight is just a Christian version and it has Bible with it. Bookshark is the secular company that does not have Bible with it. And it's a literature-based program. And so this one, I think what they said was the age range was between like 8 and 11 or 9 and 12. And I think that is going to be a better fit for us. So I'm likely going to be doing that, but I'm still not sure. And then there's that Biblioplan, which I like their textbook because it incorporates, I'm pretty sure it incorporates world history plus American history, like what was going on, in France and Japan and wherever, all throughout the world while American history was happening. And I like tying that together because it really makes you see, oh, okay, so they're not just like disconnected random stories from hundreds of years ago. They all, to see what kind of goes together. So that's what I'm thinking more for history. And then for science, that will be kind of a no-brainer. My girls really, really like the Good and the Beautiful science. And so they want to request it. I've noticed that we've done almost all of the units though. So between this year and maybe like next year and the year after that, unless they come out with new ones, which I'm sure they will, we'll have done pretty much all of their science units, which will be fun. And then I guess we'll redo them as my younger daughter gets a little bit older. But although she's in second grade, she's done them with us: kindergarten, first grade, second grade. She still wants to do the little hearts and hands from the Good and the Beautiful, which is it's supposedly geared towards kindergarten to second grade. But again, I really take those with a grain of salt. Now, if you're a senior in high school, wants to do little hearts and hands, and that's their only science, I mean, maybe like, okay. But, if she's in third grade and she wants to do it, I'm not going to stop her. So there's a couple, I think there's 3 out now. There's a space one, there's wind and wave, like weather, waves, wind, and then we've done the original one, which was like life, like bugs and trees and things like that. So she's done that one, and I might get the other 1 or 2 and then get some of the bigger science units for everybody, because she likes to participate with those too. I'm not sure they want to do all of it, and so I'm not sure how I'm going to figure that one out, but we'll get there. So probably some sort of combination. And then I might want to do health through Master Books. Their health book looks really good, but we're also doing what's it called? The human body, health in the human body right now this year, currently. And so I'm like, I don't know if I want to follow up next year and do the same thing. So I'm not sure on that one either, but that one looks really good. And I do want to get it at some point in the next couple years. I'm just not sure if I'm going to do it next year or not, but that one looks great. And then lastly, for Spanish, my daughter does free Spanish. I don't really like the program, so I don't even want to share it. I've shared it in other videos, so you might already know, but I don't really like it. She's been doing Spanish for a couple years now, so she'll be in 7th grade. And I wanted it seems like something she really actually wants to pursue. I'm like, what are your goals? Do you actually want to become fluent? I think she wants to keep pursuing it, not just casually, but actually getting into it. And so I'd like to do a formal Spanish curriculum with her. But if there's one that you've come across, I've seen a couple, but none are I don't know what I'm looking for, to be honest. So I've seen the normal ones like Song School Spanish and things like that. And I know that there's a couple YouTube channels, so we've checking those out and things. But if there's any formal curriculum, and I don't even know if I want to do that, but just something a little bit more. So those are the main subjects. That's what I'm thinking. I'm going to show up here in the next couple months and actually share what I got and what all we're using and all of that, and I'll make my final decisions. But I do absolutely look into every single thing anybody recommends. I absolutely do. I feel like I've seen most of what's out there. So it's kind of, sometimes when there's something I haven't heard of, I'm like, oh, cool. And I check it out and look it up. But I definitely look into things, re-look into things. You know, you never know. I might come back here in a couple months and whatever I have is like completely from left field, but I think those are kind of just generally what I'm thinking of for next year. So let me know, what are you thinking of? If you have any recommendations for the things that I've mentioned that I'm still up in the air about. And again, don't forget to check out my link for Night Zookeeper if you're looking for something to just add to your language arts. You just want to change things up a little bit, or, you know, take a time off from your formal language arts and just focus on something that's a little bit more relaxed but still thorough. Definitely check out Night Zookeeper down below in my description. 7-day free trial, 50% off. That is all I have for you. If you did like this video, I would really, really appreciate giving it a thumbs up. And if you want to subscribe to see more homeschool content, day in the life content, motherhood, encouragement, things like that, I'd love to have you here. Hope to see you soon in another video. Bye, guys.